So, let's get started. We're going to begin with opening statements. Each of them will have 3 minutes to introduce themselves, and we'll begin in alphabetical order, starting with Christine Barber.
Thanks, Carl. And I want to thank all of you for coming tonight to participate, and hopefully we can continue to share ideas as we go along in the campaign. I'm Christine Barber, and I'm running for state representative in the 34th Middlesex district to serve Somerville and Medford. I love living in Somerville, and I love that we have diverse and vibrant communities here that we all have worked to shape together. That's why I'm running for state representative, to bring those communities together and to make sure that our voice is heard on Beacon Hill. We know this is a critical seat. Carl leaves very big shoes to fill, that goes without saying. But I have the dedication, skills, and experience to be a strong voice for this community at the state level. My father was a machinist and worked in a factory his whole life working on airplane parts. My mother is a retired school teacher. And the one thing that I learned over and over from them was the value of hard work. And I bring that with me through everything that I do. After I graduated from Holy Cross, I joined the Jesuit Volunteer Corps, and my job was a community organizer, and I worked with women who were transitioning off of TANF or welfare at the time. And it was my job to work with them, to get them to tell their story, and eventually they would go to the State House and go to policymakers and talk about the policies that they needed to support their families. Things like better childcare, better education and training. And that very early on is where I first learned how policy should be done. Policy should be made, but the voices of the people who are affected by it. And I think that our role as policymakers is really to bring those voices to the state level and make policies out of those. And one thing that I've learned in all of my work is that it is possible to create good policies. So I'm proud that I was on the team that drafted the Massachusetts Health Reform Law back in 2006. And that was an incredible experience and took a lot of hard work and a lot of working across the aisle. But through that, we came up with a really successful law that became the model for the Affordable Care Act. And I'm very proud of what can be done when people work together and really dig into policies. I've also seen that in my work locally with the Somerville Community Corporation. We've worked to make sure to organize people in the community to make sure that they're able to bring their voice to the kinds of development they want. So we've been working on the Star Market in Broadway for a long time. We're making sure that whatever goes in there will have community support and really meet the needs of the community. So I'm running because I want to be your policy wonk on Beacon Hill. I want to bring the voices of the community to the state level, and I'm glad that we can hopefully talk more about these issues over the next hour or so of the forum.
And Sharon Guzik, 3 minutes.
I'd also like to take a few minutes just to say thank you all for attending, and Carl, thank you for moderating, and to the 3 organizations that organized this forum tonight. You remember that kid whose idea of fun was going out to collect pennies for UNICEF, or organizing the other neighborhood kids to pick up trash in the park? Well, that was me. When I moved to Medford 25 years ago, I continued this and quickly got involved with my community. And one of the very first things I got involved with was revitalizing the hibernating or dormant Friends of the Library group. And I soon became president of the Friends of the Library in 2000 and have been leading that group ever since. And I'm very proud to say that during that period of time, we have increased our membership 5-fold and have raised a total of over $250,000 for the library. In 2010, I was elected to the school committee, and where I was proud to be a voice for best practices in education. I advocated for keeping our school library doors open and for funding for new technology. And I have always advocated for the best educational opportunities for all of our students. While working on these issues and others, I saw firsthand how local communities were held back because of lack of support on the state level. And as I became more involved with the various issues our community faced, I had the opportunity to partner with various legislators, and I testified before the city committee and legislative committees. And I also learned about the critical importance of budgets and how to work with them. Today, we stand at a juncture in the Commonwealth, a critical juncture in the Commonwealth. We've made great strides passing first in the nation national health care reform, and thank you for the work you've done on that. Another record high minimum wage, regional carbon cap and trade system. But despite this, there's so much more yet to be done. We still need to decrease our growing healthcare costs. We should be moving towards a single payer system. We need to tie that minimum wage to increasing inflation so that we can keep up with the increased cost of living.